Hello guys, David Vose here. Oh buddy, we're going to talk about some really interesting things today. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Guys, have you heard of Captain Scott, who went to the South Pole before Admiral Byrd? And wait till you see the stuff he saw. Oh man, wow. Take a look at this.
Photographs of Captain Scott, of a fantastic group of unseen images from the legendary Antarctic exhibition.
When I found this, it says Captain Scott's photographs, both the negatives and original set of prints taken on his last expedition, have been secured for the nation. Through the generous support of numerous individuals, groups, and organizations, they are now preserved at the Scott Polar Research Institute. These images, many of them unseen for decades, enhance the historical record of Antarctic exploration and provide insights into Scott's profound interests in art and science. We record our thanks to those members of the public and to the United Kingdom Antarctic Heritage Trust, the Heritage Lottery Fund, the National Heritage Memorial Fund, the Staples Trust, and the VNA Purchase Grant Fund, who helped the Scott Polar Research Institute to purchase the photographs. In Antarctica, Scott learned the technical knowledge and aesthetical skills that he would require to take photographs during the journey to the South Pole. His tutor was Herbert Poynting, the expedition's official photographer. Antarctica is one of the most physically and technically challenging places on Earth to use a camera. There is a danger of skin freezing to the metal on the camera. Lighting levels are deceptive and composition can be challenged. Despite these hurdles, Scott took photographs of the expedition's base at Cape Evans, the Western Mountains and Ferrer Glacier, and the southern journey from which he and his companions would never return. But why did they go on a journey from which they didn't return? Some have said. One guy got off by himself and walked over through a certain area and found this area and told them everybody about it, and they all went to go look. And they never got to come back. And these pictures, many of them are supposed to be of that era. Now, I don't know if it's true that he died or if it's just that he saw something. Perhaps that is the first time in somewhere around 1912, before World War I. It's always weird because all these things happened, like Admiral Byrd was right after World War II. This is just before World War I. So it would be interesting if they knew about a vast civilization down there. Some of these pictures show Norwegian-looking statues. And we see that there is talk of a tunnel from Antarctica to Argentina. There are highways and tunnels from Chile to Argentina. Both Chile and Argentina go all the way down to the very tip of South America, and they're about 600 miles from there to the Antarctica. And now some have said it might be impossible to make a tunnel that far and that deep. However, I don't believe you'd have to go under the sea bed. You could make a tunnel just under the Earth's crust with some kind of other methods that I believe they have, because I've shown you pictures, and I'll show you one here, of these tunnel-looking things going from the South American continent of Chile and Argentina down to the Antarctic. If you see, there is South America and Antarctica, and there's Argentina on the right and Chile on the left at the very southern tip. Now, you really don't even have to have a tunnel, because if you notice, there's a whole mountain range that goes all the way around in a circle, making kind of like a U, sideways U, from each tip. And you could just take a boat and go from island to island or whatever it is there. Of course, to save time, they might want to have a passageway across there. Well, if you notice, you'll see what looks, or what could very well be like passageways right there. And I know some of you probably think that's just the Earth stretching and it's making little stretch marks. But they're quite straight, and they're all over. We've shown this before. Places where they'll go right up into some port. Just about every one of these ports. And then we've shown this big city that's off the coast here. Now you see, this is what the bottom of the ocean floor looks like. It just looks like natural cracks sometimes. But if you really focus in on this, and I've done a couple of videos on this, you can go back and look. We've proven conclusively, well, that's starting to clear up now, that those are man-made angles. That is a city. And if you notice, it kind of looks like a Masonic symbol, but it also has roads going, and sometimes it gets buried under the sand, but they're very straight lines, and they go all around the world. So that's just another side note. However, what about the tunnels that they have claimed are that they've got from Argentina to the Antarctic? So there is the picture going around that supposedly shows some kind of tunnel going from Argentina. They're claiming it goes under the ocean or something, and it goes to Antarctica from Argentina. Well, So here's one piece of information that I found. It says Russia's secret Antarctic hideout. Strange hole spotted near the old Soviet Union base. Russia built a secret underground base hidden deep in Antarctica, according to outrageous claims made in bombshell documentary. A station known as Lazarev on the shelf ice in the region of the Shermacher Oasis. So I thought I'd look that up. Now look, I wrote Lazarev Antarctic in the Goggle Brothers map, and I push go, and you notice this is offline error. Notice that I've got 5G, I've got 2 bars of 5G, and it will not just say no such place. It just says it's offline. It continually does that. Offline. So it's not an offline. I'm not offline. It's server area, because if I go to this Vose station, it goes right to it. So obviously they don't want me to go to the Lazarev. But when we go to the Vose station, look at what we see. There's a weird thing right there. I mean, it's just a weird thing. I don't know what it is. Seems to be some kind of a... I mean, like, what are they doing down there? What are all these... You see these lines. Now, there's a bunch of lines here. Up, you know, you see these straight lines? They look like something like antennae or something. What are these? I don't know. The Russians may be doing something really weird up there. Of course, you have to understand the Russians, the KGB or whatever, they were taken over by the same people in the Bolshevik Revolution. So they've all got bases down there. They're all together on the space station. Take a look at their station. It's like a big round ball. What do you need a round ball for? Well, normally that's some kind of radar. And it's a airport. And you can see those towers behind the airport that we were looking at. They're long tower-like things. They look like electric lines or free energy transmitters or some kind of tall poles. And goodness knows what they're doing. I mean, you can really see now these lines. There's quite a few of them. And there is the airstrip, you see? That's the airstrip, and it's a long one. So I don't think there's little Sputniks flying in or little 2-engine planes. This looks like a large runway. Americans have runways. Other countries have these large airports. We've done documentations on this. They appear to be some kind of Air Force base with lodges and hotels and underground entrances and so forth. But if you look up here, where this little... Well, actually, there's a line that goes from the Russian base. You can just kind of make it out, right? See, there's always these little lines, and I don't know if they're tire tracks or what, but they go absolutely straight, and it keeps going absolutely straight. So they've got a road going all the way. Well, let's see where it goes. Keeps going. Oops. I mean, we've gone quite a ways now. This is many miles. This road, where does it go? Well, we're going to find out. And it's a long road. I don't know how many miles we've gone. We could measure it here in a minute. But this is a heck of a road. All right, it's still going. Still going. Man, how far have we come? Seems like hundreds of miles, doesn't it? Well, we're going to find out where this is going. It might just blow our minds what we find. It's not exactly straight. They got to go around little hills and mountains, I guess. Anticipation is making me wait. That's a 2023 goggle image, so we're up to date here. Holy moly, moly, wolies. Are they going to go all the way over to the American base? Communicating with the other countries, or what? What's going on here? You guys can still see that, right? It's still there. I mean, can you imagine how much work it would be to maintain this road, that it wouldn't get buried? You know, it's still there. It's hard to see it, but it's still there. All right, now, it kind of, we saw it. You can still barely see it, but it kind of like, almost looks like it just ends right here at this strange little smear on the page. What is this little smear? Why would there be a road going out to this little smear on the page? Does it keep going and we're just not seeing it? I don't really see it go on here. This is all smeary. You know, somebody makes a road, keeps it plowed, there's wind coming, blowing drifts across the road. It would just completely disappear within probably a few days if you didn't upkeep it every dang day. And this road is upkept and cleared for hundreds of miles into a place that it just disappears into the ground. Enough said. All right, let's go back to that place. Okay, there it is. That's where we were before. Now, let's zoom out and let's measure how far this road goes. It takes off from here and it goes up through here. Try to do this real quickly, guys, because I know you're busy folks. But I want to, so far we've gone 30 miles. Okay. 50 miles. 70. Ooh, buddy. 80. 90. Even the chickens don't like this. 100 miles. Oh my goodness. I said it was hundreds, right? Well, I might be right. We're at 150 miles and counting. And it's just about straight, but it does go around what maybe hills or whatever. Okay, we'll stop it. Let's see, we'll add a point. We'll keep going because it does go off in a different kind of direction, so we don't want to. Well, we're cutting off a little bit of there because it's not really straight, but so we're 200 miles. This road is traveled. The Russians evidently maintain, and yeah, it's still going. It's going to go off in another direction, so we'll add another point so we get this pretty accurate. 230 miles. We'll add a point. Looks like they're trying to go as straight as possible. We'll go back and look at the line here in a minute. 250 miles. We'll add a point. Add a point. Okay. This is probably still very vivid and it's probably still a good road, but we're not seeing it as well because this is all blurry in here. They don't really want you to see this road too well, but it looks like it just disappeared. No, it may still be going. Yeah, it is. It's still going through here. It's kind of vague to see the road, but it's there. We're almost 300 miles now. And we're crossing over at this point some tire tracks or some weird thing, some marks on the snow, but 330 miles. Did we lose the road there? Okay, that's it. That's where it goes. Something like 300 and... Yeah, I think this is where we ended it, right here at this little spot. So 339 miles, and it goes to a spot which is real blurry and vague and appears to be nothing there. What do you suppose is there? A hole in the ground? You know what, an antennae? I mean, what would cause the Russian government to maintain a road 340 miles out in the middle of nowhere in the Antarctic? And we have seen this with the United States as well. I've shown you, I've done other videos where we followed roads from the United States, Little America, all the way up in the interior. And we've seen these, what look like hotels and hangars and huge airstrips that don't look like they're for airplanes. They might be for UFOs or something. And we now know that there may be an entrance nearby a Russian military base into the center of the earth. And I'm just saying, it looks an awful lot, the entrance, as we saw, looks an awful lot like the one that we saw in Argentina. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because Argentina and Chile is where all the individuals from Project Paperclip went. Well, the scientists and the political leaders and the CIA individuals and the Parsons and the Aleister Croweys and all that, they went to the United States. Some of them went to Russia. They're running both countries and Germany. But masses of individuals, I suppose some of their elite and their individual Bavarian peoples, mass migrated to Argentina and Chile. They have talked about for years that, well, if you just look at the Argentine government, it's all German. Buenos Aires is all German. It looks exactly like Chicago. It's got the same Athenian architecture and these domes with a little Ben at the top and the obelisk, which is what we've got in Washington. It seems like these Vikings that made London took over the Vatican, created it there. You know, the Goths took over Rome in 400. They ran the Vatican, which the Vatican doesn't belong to any country. It's sovereign. It's its own authority. It rules over the world, right? In some way, some spiritual headquarters. London seems to be a banking area. and Berlin and some places in Switzerland, and they seem to have some kind of these a headquarters of some type. But London is not part of the British Empire, and Washington, D.C. is not any part of the states in the Union. It's a sovereign entity. It's a foreign company. It's a corporation that rules over the United States. All of these individuals are all run by the same people. The same people took over Russia in the Bolshevik Revolution. Same people that took over Germany, World War I and II. The same people, I mean, they got complete control and power. The same people that took over Hollywood, the media, the banking institutions, and everything in the United States. Everything. All of them seem to be making bases and not allowing anybody else to go down there. You and I cannot go to Antarctica. They don't have tours. There are certain scientists that are allowed to go down there, maybe a few thousand people that live down there doing some kind of research. But as I've said, it looks like all they're doing is maintaining airstrips for what these, we measured these airstrips. They're way bigger than any kind of airplane landing strips. They're huge. They look like they're for some kind of maybe UFOs. And so we've gone through all of that in prior videos. I'm just saying something's going on. I don't believe it's alien. And so a lot of people will hear these stories about Captain Scott that went down there and mysteriously dies, and these records that, or his pictures and photographs that come to light later, which we don't know if they're real. What better way to kind of let the world know that something's going on? It's a conspiracy. I mean, I don't believe these pictures are real. The odd thing is that these pictures have pyramids and obelisks, just like the German people are making like the Capitol buildings all over the world. And there's all these statues of Norwegian type peoples. And they all look to be Bavarian. So I don't think they're alien. I think they're letting us know they run the world. And even if the photographs aren't real, it is some kind of symbolic message to us. And you got all these people, on History Channel and Smithsonian or whatever, trying to tell you, or George Norrie program. He's got Wilcox or one of these other idiots that are promoting their books, telling you that they were abducted or whatever. Roswell, right after World War II, and they claim they found aliens, little grays and stuff. All this is a hoax, but they want you to believe it. What are they trying to get us to believe, friends? Anyway, I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there. Hope you have a wonderful evening. May the Lord bless you. We'll see you tomorrow. Keep your eye on the prize. Don't believe in the lies. We'll see you tomorrow.